Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is probably a little different than what you were expecting. I'm probably a lot bigger on your screen, and I'm not sharing the split screen with an American-born Australian or American living in Australia. I don't know how Tim identifies, so we won't go there. But Tim's out doing some good stuff. He's probably chasing kangaroos around Tasmania or something. I don't know what he's doing. He's always up to doing something really cool. But um, I uh, I decided to just do a solo podcast and talk about something that comes up a lot. And it's pretty cool. At the time, I thought it was the worst thing I'd ever done when I signed up for an accounting degree and took an accounting job in public accounting. But it's cool to see it all come full circle and be able to talk both sides of the fence. So, when I was at Texas Tech with getting my accounting degree, I had a professor and I believe it was Dr. Mann. I think it was. It's been so long, as you can probably tell. Put your sunglasses, but take your sunglasses back off. But it's been a long time. But he opened class all the time, and he'd say, "Guys, remember, accounting is the language of business." And I swear, I got so tired of hearing that dude say that. But I'm very grateful for it now because you know what? He was right. And it's unfortunate. I go to customers, and this is from my past life, and friends. In fact, I had a friend call me last month during their month end close, and they just couldn't get something closed because they didn't understand the inner workings of their ERP. And it was really simple. It was a couple clicks, and they figured it out. And they're like, "Man, that's great." And he said, "Justin, how did you get that experience?" And I said, "Well, listen, man, like." I got it because I made the conscious effort to understand the integration points with accounting, with operations, and with supply chain. And I cannot tell you, like, if you're a young accountant or finance guy and you want to grow your career, or you're a young, guy on the operations side, engineering side, and you're trying to understand how budgets flow, just sit with the other guy, and or other gal, and just spend some time learning how they run their processes. And it's baffling. Well, let me back up. So I actually was thinking about how to present this to you guys. And I went into Perplexity AI and I said, "Hey, man, just give me the description of an ERP. What is an ERP system?" And it says an ERP stands for an enterprise resource planning. It refers to a type of software that integrates and manages a company's core business processes, such as finance, operations, maintenance, human resources, manufacturing, supply chain, human resources, sales, procurement, et cetera, et cetera. Keep on going. So remember, we buy an ERP solution, so we have integration. And so many times I see a procurement team working out of a spreadsheet, or I see an operations guy, a team opening up a spreadsheet and just being absolutely lost. And I'm telling you, I learned that accounting truly is the language of business. So when I back in my upstream oil and gas days, when I was a young whippersnapper accountant, I made relationships with a lot of these field foremen because I could answer their questions and I could dig around in the system and go from the income statement to the work order and help them understand why things were being charged to their OPEX or their lease operating expense. And what I learned through that was the value of really, really good master data and configuring a system to help take that heavy lift off of both the maintenance guys, the day in and day out, the operations guys day in and day out, the engineering on the capex side day in and day out, but especially the accounting guys. You know, how many of you guys work for companies that trend data and book accruals just to smooth things out a little bit, right? Well, you know, well, here's the deal. If you use SAP or Oracle or whatever you use, if you use your ERP solution as intended, every time you receive a material or a service, it books the journal entry for you, right? And every time you issue something out of inventory, it books the journal entry for you. And every time you confirm time, it books the journal entry for you. So I really encourage you guys on the finance side to get out there, like go get some steel toes and some FRs, and go spend some time out in the field with these guys and try to understand where their pain points are. You know, I know you're busy, and I know your day to day is like Groundhog Day, and I get it. Like I wanted to rip my hair out with what I had. Um, Day in and day out when I book journal entries, and I'm just like, I don't understand why they don't get it. Well, let me tell you, a lot of times it is self-inflicted. So pay attention to your master data. You know, I think about back to the goods receipt conversation. I think about, man, why can't they code this right? Why? How come when they go call the vendor and get an invoice, and they deliver something and they hand code an invoice to a cost center and general ledger account? Why do they change it? Like one week it was this way and the other week it was that way. Well, look, man, they are so busy trying to figure out how to keep the field running. Like, help them. Create material masters that are easy to use, that have the GL account tied to it when they do the goods movement, and that they have a system that they can track things and they can see where things are so they can plan and schedule. And and they're not doing the full procure to pay process. I see time and time again where these guys on the operations side, God bless them, they are they are planning the work, they're calling the vendors, they're receiving the materials and kitting them at their own warehouses without using ERP or SAP. They're kitting them all together, making sure that they have the work, they're lining up the work, then they're doing the work and they're closing the work. And it's just impossible to keep track of. So if you guys want to be a hero in your organization on the finance side specifically, get out there, learn what's going on, and try to help them find a way to utilize material masters and standard processes and procedures to make their day to day better. Because I can guarantee you this, if you're running SAP, you've got the best tool on the planet for planning and scheduling work and managing inventory and the whole gambit before and after that. So, look, I can't stress it enough. This is a teamwork makes the dream work. You finance guys get out there and listen and try to be part of the solution. And you maintenance guys, like, don't beat a dude up for coming out there and trying to help. If they're out there trying to help, get in there and put your arm around them. And I had some guys do that for me. Unbelievably grateful for them. Like, talk to them still to this day. So grateful for their mentorship and their leadership. And you supply chain guys, tag along, pay attention. If you're a buyer and you cut contracts, and understand why we've got the language in our contracts. If you're an actual, like, day-to-day functional procurement buyer, jump in there with those guys and learn their business. You'll be so grateful for it. It'll help you figure out where you want to go, and I promise you it will springboard your opportunities down the line. So, anyways, I'm off my soapbox. If you guys want to talk about this, give me a shout. Really appreciate your time and spending time with me today. And stay warm if you're in the southern hemisphere. And for the love of goodness, stay cool if you live where I live in Texas. Get in the swimming pool. Do whatever you got to do. It's getting hot. So, hey, you guys, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.